Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Long Classics. This is episode number 3196, episode number 3090. Got two trays for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. First up is Teenage Mutant Turtles, the Mirage years 1993-1995. Yeah, this trade back here collects the entire second volume from the Mirage era for TMNT. Written and drawn by Jim Lawson, who does all 13 issues. This is the aftermath of the City at War story arc. This comic came out for a part of like 2 years. Yes, 95 to 90, 93, 95. Volume 2, 13 issues. And yes, it was 13 issues. Yeah, written and drawn by Jim Lawson. Now, Kevin Peele pretty much did the cover, starting with issue number... No, Peele did the covers for issue 2 by himself, and then starting issue 3, he's basically doing the cooler covers with him. The first issue cover was A.C. Farley. By the way, I met Jim Lawson. Cool guy. So, by the way, here's a fun fact. This was the first book, first mainline Turtles book that wasn't published in color. So we start out with Splintered bloody after a sparring match with the Turtles. Except basically it was a dream. Yeah, basically I think it's supposed to be. Not sure he's supposed to be because I can't tell because of the weapons on him. He's injured probably because of events of the City of War stuff. So basically, they're in this separate location of the normal layer. They're in look like they're in Japan. Now, who this turtle is supposed to be? Oh, it's Donatello. Okay, who's got a broken leg? And of course, they meditate, and then we see. I think this is supposed to be Leonardo, and then we see a flying police car. I think it's bury him because he needs to bury him. And of course we see this guy who apparently is saying "Wake up, Daddy." Have you? I think about it. No. And he's just basically hallucinating. And we see their daughter, his daughter, Shadow, basically sleeping. And she's easier with April O'Neil. And apparently her dream is basically her being chased somewhere else, just like how she was first introduced in the series. And then her being retrieved by Baxter. So I'm going to wires on him. Oh, don't worry, he's featured here in a weird way. So, one piece of the pizza. So, he throws it away in the garbage. And then we see, looks like Raphael's who's there? And of course he looks around, sees nobody, holds a rope, and it's a giant rat. And then he's retrieved by, he runs to a wall, and I think it's supposed to be maybe Michelangelo, who gets basically surrounded by a Triceratops, this weird looking alien. And so with Michelangelo, nope, it's a little dream. Weird first issue. Second issue is basically the Turtles in their lair. Michelangelo lists our journal. It's like these Turtles are so bored. And then we introduce this place called DARPA, Transfer Defense Research and Projects Administration, where then we have password. John, what's with you? We got being spooked. Yeah, someone called Murph. He's killed for some weird reason. Yeah, and it turns out Baxter Stockman is here. Yep. The Turtles hang out at the farm. Everybody's basically doing their own thing, fighting a little crime here and there. Then we see Baxter apparently shaved his head and then proceed to draw marks on his head, presumably for brain surgery. Move on to issue 3. While they're trying to get into this lab where Stockman is, they don't know where he is. They find people dead. Stockman missing his brain. They don't know it's basically a robot behind it, which has got his brain. Yeah, then of course the robot takes Stockman's glasses and walks away. Then we have this mechanized Goliath here. Gargo. We have one of the turtles doing dishes. Then it has to hide because the cop is there. Oh yeah, and then apparently hide in the ground. Of course, he decides to leave. Like, and then we see this big bulky guy. I don't know who the heck this guy is. Oh, Mr. Bronson. Like, there's two neighbors chatting. And we see this really interesting shot here, like the two turtles just walking. Looks like it's just Michelangelo and Leonardo just walking to the sewer. Which looks like a very futuristic looking sewer. Then Stockman is roaming through the desert. Moving to issue 4, where he can continue roaming through the desert. He's a guy in a log cabin, and he's attacked by... Then one of the turtles just start attacking him. For reasons. Apparently this guy is nobody. Apparently new from New York. So, then more, it's basically like still a lot of gorgeous art by Jim Lowson. He does a really good job here. There's some really gorgeous art by him. This is not a bad comic per se. It's just that not a lot happens. Of course, then we have like fighting. You have Michelangelo fighting some mutant and a giant snapping turtle. And then we see, looks like Casey's here at the new base. They just hang out. Then we had Alligator Snapper Turtle still chasing Michelangelo. Actually, it's Leonardo. And like, ooh, there's an egg. More mutants here. Still cool stuff here. Then we see, looks like we see the Twin Towers. Well, 3 of them anyways. Yeah, the World Trade Center. This is, of course, years before they fell down. And the book ends with Batman coming out of the water. Like a Jason Voorhees. Yeah, then of course we have a guy being attacked by Stockman because he needs a phone book. We see Shadow basically being held by her adoptive father. Yep. Yeah, basically what's explained for this is that why Kate has got a daughter now, because he actually married the girl's mom, who was pregnant with her. I think that, if I remember correctly, I believe that Casey is not the father, but he ended up adopting her after the mother died. Yeah, he did briefly marry her before she died. We see cars pulled up here. All reports with the police. Yes, along Spike. Yeah, it's probably Stockman. And then Stock basically, I don't know it's Stockman, but it is Stockman. Lee issue 7. And then we see it looks like one of her holding Shadow. Yep. So then we have Leonardo just chatting with Casey here. Of course, they don't know it's Stockman, but I know it's Stockman because I've seen him do it. So, and they have this building that's able incoming for you tonight. Yep. And everyone else with the serious robot now. They don't know it's Stockman just yet. They have a big brawl with them, and then we have like through us, it leads issue 8. More fighting here, but it's still a really good book. This book is very serialized for these 13 issues. Yep, yes it is. And then we have, looks like Raphael basically put in some tube, whatever. And Backstone was slowly being defeated in his robot form. His brains inside the damn thing. And by the way, some of the stuff here, these agents, maybe a lot of the agents that work for the Earth Protection Agency from the 2003 show. And then we have they get beat up by this guy in this apartment, and of course they're attacking the robot in the sewers. And of course, I still don't know what's Backstock Woman. Of course, I know who he is. Explain, like, and of course they're always like, huh. And then moving to issue 10, like, this is Raphael's. Okay, Lou, this his name is. A bunch of guys that chat for a bit. He's been held someplace. Apparently, it's some laboratory. Looks like a Triceraton. And it's an alien, and then. Yeah. More stuff with a little bit of conspiracy with the government, of course. Basically, they're picked up. Like issue 11, we have this mysterious ninja help with him. In case he goes on his own. Figures out, and of course they have this little shootout here. They manage to get into this place. See, Lou apparently knew one of these guys here. What was that? No. Glass crack, like, gonna break. And apparently they did meet back at issue 7 of the original book. Yep. And they were leading to... I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, that's a piece of the Triceraton's homeworld that was seen in the 03 series. And it's like, wow, no wonder we're basically... I thought the 03 series made this up. No, this actually is from the original comic. I did not expect that we see Triceratons in uniform. Not Prime Minister per se, yeah, it's the Triceratons. I think it's a flashback. I think it may have been loosely added for the show, because remember, basically, they're hauled off in space. Yeah. And if I have more creatures here, leads to the final issue of the book, where they do escape from this place. Excuse me. Lou dies. A very graphic fashion, mind you. And of course, try to take his own where he does. And then we have Charles calling some blast. And apparently the whole book was a dream. Yes. The dream. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people probably were not happy with this ending. Where, like, the previous issues were all about a dream. Yeah, kind of a disappointment ending, but still good volume. I love this volume. That was really good. I give this book basically 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 if not for that anticlimactic ending. Next up we have is Kennedy Smith's Sam Bosley Body Count, which is a TMNT spin-off book, which they collected here. It's just... I think it's just a few issues. Yeah, it's 4 issues. This is a book by Kevin Eastman, but this is basically his book. It's basically all about Casey Jones beating up a bunch of people. Charles will get involved with this book. April gets shoot out basically these guys here. Yeah, and Simon Boston, of course, you have... It's basically, it's kind of like an April and Casey book. It basically is more gory. Then we have Raphael show up, and you clearly tell it's Raphael because the R in his chest, on his belt buckle, which I'm sure probably Kevin Eastman took that from the 87 show. He's like scowling. It's like this is a 90s turtle comic. A little bit of noir. Really, this is a really interesting comic. Like, a little bit of gangster stuff here. It's like, you could ever say, who's the main character in this book? Casey, April, and Raphael. And it's basically them fighting gangsters. You're probably thinking, where's Michelangelo? Where's Leonardo? Where's Splinter? Donatello? Not here. We even have one point you have Raphael firing a gun off in the book. Yes, he's like scowling, and it's a quite interesting book. Here's basically them going to like a very damaged, ruined area on this 2-page spread. This is my character just having fun. Yeah, and here's more scenes of Donatello, like Raphael, basically firing a gun off. You have April put on this very sexy outfit. Like, oh my gosh, like wow, Simon Bosley made April O'Neil a bodybuilder. Yep. And then is fighting this guy who looks like a person machete. And then he gets killed by, look like April. And the book ends basically with him back in New York. Yeah. Interesting book. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I give that book also a 9 out of 10. Really fun book. Not a book you expect from Turtles. It is technically considered a Turtles book. I think this book was published by... Excuse me. I know the trade paperback basically... I think this was published by Mirage. Excuse me. Just basically, yep, it was published by Heavy Metal. That was the company who published this thing. So apparently, the reason why that Volume 2 ended was because of declining popularity of the Turtles, and also lagging sales, and a flood of Mirage Studios. That's why the book ended. Yeah. But Body Count definitely was a good book. I enjoyed this one. Yeah, and of course IDW is still publishing Turtles. I think this was a new printing of this book. Yes, it's new printing. It's something that they actually published this book. Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me. But apparently, that Volume 2 was also published as part of the classic line for Volumes 8 through 10. Yes. And I did review the first 4 volumes, but I haven't reviewed anything else there for that one. Yep. But not much to say about these 2 books. So that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up, basically, we have is Case Closed. Okay, next video. Bye.